Hey y'all, I'm Rylan. Welcome to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be doing my April wrap-up. In the month of April, I read 17 books. I have kept track of all of my reading in my journal, and in April, I read 11 novels and 6 manga. I am very happy with that overall. I have found some new favorites, and I discovered my love for manga, which I am very excited about. In April, I had 7 3-star reads, 1 3.5-star read, 6 4-star reads, and 3 5-star reads. So I think I'm going to talk about my books in order from least favorite to favorite is how I'm going to do it. So let's start off by talking about the books that I rated 3 stars. The first 3 books that I rated 3 stars were the first 3 volumes of the manga series called Your Lie in April. While this manga was really cute, I just wasn't like super interested in the story itself. This manga series is about these kids, and this one little boy used to be a very, very prominent piano player who was in all these competitions, but his mom died and he like stopped being able to hear music. And so he has this friend who he meets in the first volume, and she tries to convince him to get back into music, and it's just a really, really hard time for him. This series touches a lot on friendships and grief and just kind of like overcoming your fears. I've only read the first 3 volumes. I think there's like 8 volumes total. I could be wrong about that, but I've only read the first 3, and I'm not sure if I'm going to continue the series because for me they haven't gotten better. They've all been 3 stars, so I think I'm gonna like not pick up the next volumes for now at least. But yeah, so those were the first 3 books that I rated 3 stars. I also read P.S. I Like You for a reading vlog that is about to come out, so keep an eye out for that. But yeah, I read P.S. I Like You by Casey West, and I also rated it 3 stars. P.S. I Like You is a young adult romance novel about a girl named Lily who lives in a very chaotic household. She never has any privacy, and she gets very frustrated by her family because it's just too much for her to handle sometimes. She goes to school and she has her best friend and her mortal enemy, and she goes to chemistry class every day and she hates it. So she starts writing on the desk, and someone starts responding to her, and so they start writing letters back and forth, and she realizes that she's been writing to a guy, and they develop feelings for each other, and they fall in love. Your classic romance novel. I didn't personally love it. I know that a lot of people do love it, but to me the main character is just really annoying, and I wish the ending ended way differently because I thought it was awful. I hated the ending. You can hear me talk more about that in the vlog that I have coming out in a few days, but yeah, I didn't love this book. So now onto the physical books that I rated 3 stars. I read City of Ghosts by Victoria Schwab and rated it 3 stars. This is a middle grade book about a girl who almost died, and she didn't die, but she can see ghosts now. And she ends up going like on this, not vacation, but like her parents are doing a documentary and they travel to Scotland, and she like figures out more about her ability, and stuff happens that's bad and evil comes, and this was cute and fast and fun. And I liked it, so I gave it 3 stars. I also read Sad Day, A Touch of Darkness by Scarlett Sinclair, and I gave it 3 stars as well. This was one of the April picks for the Book Boyfriends Are Better book club that I co-host with my friends Elle and Maya, and I was the only one who didn't absolutely love this. A Touch of Darkness is about this girl named Persephone. She is a goddess, and she is like a journalist, and she ends up meeting Hades, and they end up like coming into this deal where she is going to be bound to him forever if she cannot do this thing in a certain amount of time. And so they have like an enemies to lovers type of thing, but the tension just went on for way too long, and this book was, I think, more frustrating for me more than anything, because if we had had communication, if we had had like, I don't know, more talking and like more figuring stuff out together, I think that yeah, I would not have been so frustrated. Will I pick up the sequel? Probably yes. The steam was good. I don't know if I like really felt the connection all the way between Hades and Persephone, but like it was fun. It was fine. I gave it 3 stars. I also read, and this one I'm super disappointed that I didn't love, I read Black Sunshine by Karina Hall. I was super excited for this one. I had not heard of this author before until I started seeing this book on Bookstagram. So I bought the physical book because just look at that cover. Like, come on. That's beautiful. This is a vampire standalone dark romance that takes place in San Francisco about this girl named Lenore who gets kidnapped by a group of vampires, and the leader of the vampire group, they end up like having an enemies to lovers type of thing. I didn't love this one, unfortunately. I was bored, honestly, through a lot of it. I didn't feel like there's as much action as there could have been for a vampire like romance novel. There wasn't a ton of like, I don't know, like stuff going on in the book. I also didn't really see the chemistry and passion between our two main characters. There was just like no bond between them that I could see as I was reading it. So I didn't really feel like the two characters connected with each other. So overall, this one was really disappointing. I did like tab a few really nice quotes from our male main character. Let me see if I can read one of them. Let's see. Oh yeah, so here, let's read this one. You're reading my thoughts, I say absently, my voice faint, small, far away. Yes, he practically hisses, and you offer them up so easily when you're upset. Almost makes me feel bad, but not quite. Like, I loved our main male character whose name was Salone, but I guess the two characters just didn't click for me, so I rated this book 3 stars. I also rated one book 3.5 stars, and that was Queenie by Candace Carty Williams. The book talks a lot about love and sex and race and relationships and mental illness, and it was good. It didn't really grab my attention. I thought that the plot was kind of repetitive, but I loved watching Queenie's character development, and I would still recommend this book. And the cover is just beautiful, so we love that. So now on to the 4-star books that I read in April. I had 6 of them. The first one was Black Butler. This is the first volume in a manga series about this kid who is super duper rich. He runs his family's toy company because I think the rest of his family is dead. And he has this butler, this guy on the cover, who is like suspiciously good at his job. Like something is like off about him, I guess. Like something is not like normal. And so I don't know like exactly what's going on yet because the volume ended before we could find out, but I assume that is what the second volume touches on. So I'll be continuing this series over the summer. It was really good, really dark. I have a feeling it's only going to get darker. I also read A Heart of Blood and Ashes by Mila Vane. This was the second book club pick for the book Boyfriends Are Better book club. I gave this book 4 stars. This is like a historical fantasy romance. This book is about a guy named Maddox who is like the son of like the queen and king of a country. And so they get killed, and to get revenge, he kidnaps the daughter of like the king who was in charge of like killing his parents, and so he wants revenge and he plans to get revenge by killing the daughter, but things end up going differently and they end up like getting into like a deal where like if they get married and she bears him a son, they can both get revenge on her father because she also hates her father. So this book was full of action and romance, and I really enjoyed it. I only didn't give it 5 stars is just because the world building was a little bit too much for me. I think I couldn't comprehend all of it. I did listen to the audiobook one of this because I needed to read it faster than like I was reading it, which I think really helped a lot. So I gave this book 4 stars. I also read Amari and the Night Brothers. I have talked about this multiple times in multiple videos that I've uploaded in the month of April. This is a middle grade book about a girl named Amari whose brother went missing a year ago, and she still wants to find him. And so she finds out that he was a part of this Bureau of Supernatural Affairs, and she gets to learn about what he did. She gets to go to like a summer camp where she learns more and gets the opportunity to like get her own special skill. And as she's at the summer camp, evil comes and it involves her brother, and it's just like an adventure. So this book was really fun. I gave it 4 stars. And I would really recommend it, and I cannot wait to see what happens in the second book. I also read a nonfiction book this month, and that was My Friend Anna by Rachel Williams. This book is about our author Rachel, who became friends with Anna, who was a con artist. Anna is currently in prison, I believe. But like this book just talks about Rachel's experience with Anna and like their friendship and how they met each other and like how things escalated really quickly to the point where like Rachel was like having breakdowns and she was stressed every day because like Anna kept saying that like, I'll give you your money back, I'll get your money back, but like you know, Nothing Ever Happened. This was really good. I personally loved it. Not a lot of people enjoy this book, but I don't know, I personally really liked it. Another 4-star read that I had in April was With the Fire on High by Elizabeth Acevedo. With the Fire on High is about our main character Moni, who is a senior in high school and also a mother to a toddler, and so she is learning how to like juggle both school and being a mother. She loves to cook, and so she takes a cooking class as an elective her senior year, and they get the opportunity to go to Spain. The book is a lot about cooking and a lot about her relationship with her daughter and her relationship with her abuela, and it was a good book. I gave it 4 stars just because I would have loved to like see more plot wise. The book was a lot about cooking, and that's nice and all, but I would have loved to see a little bit more. I loved the romance in the book. We do have some romance going on, and I thought that that was really good and fun. So overall, I really like this book. I also read this book for a vlog that is coming out soon, so you can hear more thoughts on that when that video does come out, but I really enjoyed With the Fire on High, and I would recommend it. The other 4-star book that I read in April was Left for Dead by Caroline Mitchell. This is a thriller NetGalley arc that I had to read about this serial killer who kills women and the detective who is like trying to figure out who is killing all these women. I listened to the audiobook of Left for Dead because the book was published last year and it is available on Kindle Unlimited, and like along with the ebook you can also like download the audiobook for free with it. So I did that, which I think really helped my reading experience. I really enjoyed the book. It wasn't a 5-star read for me because it wasn't one of the best thrillers that I've ever read, but I still really liked it, and I'm glad that I picked it, and I'm glad that I was able to get one of my backlisted NetGalley arcs off my shelf, so that was really nice. Finally, I read 3 5-star books this month, and 2 of them were manga, so let's talk about those first. I read volumes 2 and 3 of Kakegurui Compulsive Gambler in April. Absolutely loved them. I think I've talked about this manga series in some of my other videos, but this series is about these kids at a very elite school where they gamble, and everyone is a little bit insane. The stakes are super high. They're all betting tons of money on these gambling games that they do, and it's just a lot of fun. It's very dark, very gory, and I personally love it. It's also a Netflix anime that I started watching, and I'm obsessed with it. The last 5-star book that I read was Caraval by Stephanie Garber. This is a fantasy book about these 2 sisters named Scarlett and Donatella, and they get invited to go to Caraval, which is like this game that happens, and they get taken there by this guy named Julian, and they're trying to like escape their abusive father, but Scarlett is about to get married, and she thinks that by marrying this person that she's like been arranged with, that she'll be able to escape her abusive father then as well. So she's hesitant about going to Caraval, but like she ends up going there against her will, and so she's nervous about being there because she needs to get back for her wedding so she can like be safe and protected from her father. But when Donatella, Scarlett's sister, goes missing as a part of Caraval, she stays because she has to find her sister. You don't know what's real and what's not in Caraval. Everything is like a game. It's all very mysterious. There's also a romantic element in the book, and I loved it all. Julian is one of my new book boyfriends. Would recommend. I love him very much. So I gave Caraval 5 stars and cannot recommend it enough, and I cannot wait to continue reading that series. Overall, I think I had a really good reading month. I think I'm a very critical reader, so that's why I always have more 3-star reads than anything, but regardless of those 3-star reads, I still liked all of the books that I read in April, and I'm glad that I picked them all up. Several of the books that I read this month were on my backlisted pile that I had, so I was very excited to finally pick them up and read them and just knock them off my list, which is a goal that I want to do more this year because I have such a bad habit of buying books and never reading them, so I'm trying to get through my backlisted books more. So that is all that I have for my April wrap-up. This month, I read 17 books, 11 of them were novels and 6 of them were manga, which I'm happy with. I plan to read a lot more in May when I am no longer in school, so keep your fingers crossed for that. If you liked this video, please like and subscribe for more bookish content. I try to post at least once a week, but plan to be more active once I'm done with classes for the semester. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all in another video.